both roles today. So I'm staying right over here. I'm not going to be going back and forth. Okay, good morning and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual freethinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm Laura Wink, your worship associate and facilitator for this morning. Thank you to everyone on this morning's worship team, including music by Bill. Woo-hoo. Children's Church for Children 3 and over by KMLs and KMLs. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway, and whether it is your first visit or your 1,000th, we are glad that you came. This service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel. Hi, everybody. To help us connect better with our friends watching from home, please, everyone, turn around and give a wave to the camera. At the end of the service, we will invite our friends on Zoom to turn on their cameras and return the wave. Okay, we have some announcements. Starting this week, we will plan to post a printed copy of announcements on the wall over by the welcome table, just in case you missed part of something that sounded interesting or there are important details that you didn't have a chance to write down. Thank you to everyone who joined us yesterday for day one of our Climate Justice Revival. We had 18 people, which is phenomenal for a congregation our size. You can see our work around the sanctuary. We started with a covenant, and then starting from the back of the sanctuaries, we drew a rich picture. In that rich picture, we identified what we'd love to see in the year 2050 if all of our concerns were addressed. And you are welcome to draw a rich picture yourself and put it on the wall. Then we identified the challenging realities that we have. So you can see the big pictures. We started with the challenging realities, and then we addressed those with the actions that our community can take to overcome those challenging realities. From there, we drew sacred circles, which are the pictures right above. So in looking at the sacred circles, we looked at, let me make sure I got this right, identifying what our community needs are, what brings me joy, what I have to offer, and then in the center we came up with 3 words that we could take from all that work. So what's next? Well, I'd like to keep these up for the program year so we can add as we go so that this continues to be a dynamic and live part of our congregational work. And then during our social environmental justice meetings, we can look at these and pull the pieces that are common, pull our common concerns, identify our common energy for that work, identify our capacity to do something, take action, this year, 5 years, as we go. So I'm hoping that our revival work continues to bring energy to our Social and Environmental Justice Committee. Okay. The University of Rochester will be holding their annual Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice Conference on Tuesday, October 15th at the Riverside Convention Center. Isabel Wilkerson, the author of Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents, will be the keynote speaker. That's a lot. She's a big deal. Up to 1,000 members of the greater Rochester community are invited to register at no cost for this full-day event with a boxed lunch provided. Visit the link posted in the chat or the announcement page by the welcome table for more information or how to register. Next, we are making a change to the way we compost. Emptying our old compost container was a task postponed or forgotten a few too many times. If you are here while food is being shared and would like to take on the responsibility of setting out the bowl or the bucket for scraps and then emptying it in the tumbler outside, please take on that responsibility, but don't just leave it. Any other announcements?
I have a couple announcements. I would like to first thank Laura profusely for her work yesterday with the revival. I personally feel amazingly revived, and I want to invite anybody who's not really quite sure what we did because they weren't here yesterday to please reach out and talk with other people about the work that we did, because just because you weren't here doesn't mean that we you should not be included. So that's my first thing. The second thing is we have changed the timing of the board meeting, so we will now be meeting the first Tuesday of every month, which, if you haven't flipped your calendars, is this week, from 7 to 8:30 on Tuesdays by Zoom. So please attend if you're a board member, or drop in if it's something that you're interested in. Thank you.
Oh, and one other shout out to Gregory, who tends to participate by Zoom. He came in from Geneseo to participate in the Climate Justice Revival yesterday, so anybody can participate. Okay, as we prepare to be fully together, I remind us all to silence our phones and devices, and we now enter a space of worship. Now is the time for chalice lighting, and Karen's going to help me with this. Throughout religious history, revivals have marked periods of resurgence in people's commitment to their faith traditions. Classic American tent revivals took people out of the four walls of the church and into the world. They brought the community together and served as a galvanizing force for the future, often during times of great change or anxiety. In the midst of overlapping climate crises and mounting social injustice, we are in a time of great change and profound anxiety. Taking a note from those who have gone before us, the UUA Climate Justice Revival is meant to be a time to come together and recommit. So as we come into worship, we light the chalice with words by Reverend Megan Foley, Deputy Director for When Unitarian Universalists light our chalice, we are doing more than moving a bit of flame from a little stick to our favorite candle. When Unitarian Universalists light our chalices, we are showing what happens when we harness the power of fire. Fire is one of our world's most sacred elements, perhaps because it always causes destruction. Fire warms and feeds. Fire destroys and eliminates. With a bit of attention and care, fire works with us, though, to reveal, to show, literally to illuminate. Fire helps us to see and to survive. And so, fire is an especially sacred symbol today at our Climate Justice Revival because we are in need of change. We are in need of warmth and sustenance, and we need to clear a bright new path for ourselves and our world. May this cup of captured fire be a symbol today of our passion, our care, our brilliance in the face of great need. Like fire, we are powerful. Like fire, we create change. May it be so. Welcome again to our Climate Justice Revival worship service. We are so glad we've entered and come into this place of rejoicing. This morning we are doing things a little differently. We're joining congregations all over the country for a time of renewal and recommitment at the intersection of the climate crisis and the deep justice commitments of our congregation. Together, we can move past systems and cultures of extraction to usher in a new era with love and justice at the center. We protect what we love. So during this morning's worship, we will be remembering our love for earth, air, fire, and water. We will be tapping into our love for people, especially those first and most impacted by climate disruption. We will be celebrating all of creation and recommitting our care and protection. So let's begin with a breath and air, I invite you to just notice your breathing. However easy or labored or fast it might be. Give thanks for those gathered with you. And give thanks for air, always present, supporting all life. And now I invite us to rise in body or spirit and join in our first hymn. Found on the printed papers on or near your chair, we will rise together.
Take out the word rise and replace it with the word sing. We will sing together, you and I. Sing together hand in hand. We will sing together, hands held high. We will reach the promised land. Come, my friend, I see a brighter day. Freedom rings for everyone. Come along and we will find a way to justice rising like the sun. Let's put in the word dance together. We will dance together, you and I. Dance together hand in hand. We will dance together. Let's do one more verse. We will work together. We will work together, you and I. Work together hand in hand. We will work together, hands held high. We will reach the promised land. Come, my friend, I see a brighter day where freedom rings for everyone. Come along and we will find a way to justice rising like the sun.
And now is the time for our story, which is going to be a video. Thank you to Danielle for all the tech yesterday.
As we continue the celebration of our revival together, I am so excited to bring you a story by one of my favorite children's authors, Kobe Yamada. The images are by May Bisum. The story is called, What Do You Do with a Problem? I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was here. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem? I thought. I wanted it to go away. I shooed it, I scowled at it, I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallowed me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this, and I worried about that. The more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself, but it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up, attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. But even though I didn't want to, I really didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. The problem wasn't what I thought it was, and I discovered that it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. And that, my loves, is the end of our story.
Now is a time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Climate justice isn't abstract. It starts close to home and impacts people, including all of us and our neighbors. It's not a contest between our commitments to the planet and our commitments to a more just society. That your gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Isabel, are you staying? Are you staying upstairs or are you going to go downstairs? She's staying. So we don't need to send the children.
I thought she was pointing down. I
Oh.
thought she was pointing to the basement.
How about we just send you anyway? And then you can decide. Ready? Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the love of all surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Okay, as part of our climate justice revival, we have prayers for people and the planet.
and heart can say. I've been sailing all my
Our capacity
life.
for relationships that embrace our beautiful and abundant
Lord,
humanity.
have I
Fear
known
creates cynical cycles of supremacy and extractive relationships with each other and our planet. Reimagining together is how we overcome fear. Reimagining together is how we build new relationships and a new era, putting love at the center. Today especially, we put love at the center of our work for climate justice. Please join together in the prayers of the people
my
of the
sail and moon my rudder as I ply the starry
right here in our congregation, we pray for ourselves.
the
We open our hearts to companions, caring for a
casting
hurting world,
questions
committing to
into
create a world of flourishing.
drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls,
Impacted first,
making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful
era together.
boat.
We look towards each other, people of faith, good conscience, and spirit, leaning on one another and trusting in the hope we can create together. Let us reimagine a new era together. We make right the wrongs of the past, not by ignoring them, but by doing the difficult work of dismantling the oppressive systems and behaviors that feed our illusion of separation. May we live in a way that honors our interdependence and acts in accordance with our interconnection with all people and the planet. Let us reimagine a new era
I
together.
give thanks to the
May we set down
way
fear.
upholding
May our
me.
courage to
Hail
face the
the
intersecting
great
systems of
winds
harm lead to the
urging
strength
me
to
on.
create intersecting practices
Read
of
the
love.
infinite sea before me.
Let us
Sing
reimagine
the
a
sky
new
my
era
sailor song.
Reimagining together, we build new relationships. We put love at the center of climate justice work, and we commit. Amen. I now invite you to join in a time of shared silence to consider the ways you feel called to commit. Our sermon today will be a video of We Have What We Need, Embracing Joyfully Wild-Built Systems of Mutual Care by the Reverend Dr. Omega Burkhart.
How do we embrace joy? How do we rekindle excitement and reimagine new ways of working together towards intersectional climate justice? Maybe one of the answers comes from outside our human shared experience. Maybe we take a cue from a nature-loving robot built in the wilds named Mosscap. The solar punk novella, Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, is a love letter to mutual support, just and harmonious relationship building, and natural systems of which humans are only a small part. Sibling Dex, one of the protagonists, is a monk whose vocation calls them to travel between villages, serving tea and offering a space of accompaniment for the weary and the grief-worn. On their travels, Sibling Dex meets an unlikely companion, a wild-built sentient robot named Splendid Speckled Mosscap. As their friendship unfolds, Mosscap and Dex discover they hold a similar guiding question on their individual but overlapping journeys. What do humans need? As the unlikely duo adventures through the wilderness, Mosscap and Dex, the robot born of the forest who longs for learning about humans, and the urban monk who revels in the solitary life of travel between villages. They find companionship as they learn about themselves and the world. The unfolding friendship between Mosscap and Dex teaches us how mutual support not only ensures each other's survival, but that there is joy in supporting each other's thriving. For this duo, living in a world where climate justice is normal means centering relationships over capitalism, natural systems for their inherent worth, and interspecies love and respect over extractive practices. It centers beauty, imagination, joy, dancing, play, and sharing good food with companions. These lessons from a fictional world suggest to us that the answer to the question of what do humans need is mutual support. Humans supporting humans in finding joy in healing our world. What humans also need is to honor other natural systems and support their flourishing because of their inherent worth, not just for what humans can extract from them. What humans need are thriving ecosystems, clean waterways for us and the flora and fauna who depend on them, and renewable sources of energy that work in harmony with nature, not at the cost of its depletion. There are many truths that we humans have uncovered as we work towards intersectional climate justice. Many of us have been engaged for years in this work, and we have grown weary. We have grown frustrated. We also understand how climate injustice affects the most vulnerable. Its unequal distribution of damage is experienced by those who historically have the least power to change it. And there is another truth emerging. We have who and what we need for reimagining climate justice centered in love. We have what we need when we honor that at our core as humans, we want to live fulfilling and fulfilled lives, and we want other beings to live fulfilled and healthy lives as well. We have what we need when we remember that we are part of nature and natural systems, not outside of them. We have what we need when we affirm, as the narrator of Wild Built reminds us, that human-made constructs prioritize the healing of the not humanly constructed. We have what we need when we honor the weariness of an uncertain world, yes, but also when we remember that a dystopian future is not foretold. We have what we need when we work towards brightness, towards joy, towards a world of justice, driven, a thriving where a healthy climate and natural systems are reflective of, they're sustained by and celebrated by healthy humans, and we are in turn sustained by them. To be excited about this, we're doing this all over the world, and that there is power in that fellowship and connection, this is also a truth and a need. Whether the work of intersectional climate justice focuses on indigenous plants and shade justice in Los Angeles, or the work of the elimination of agricultural practices brought by colonization in the Midwest, or the work is creating training programs for members of the global majority to enter environmental justice careers on the Eastern Seaboard. You, the spirit-filled climate justice workers, you are affirmed. Your work is important. Your work is the spiritual work of reimagining and renewing our promises to ourselves, to one another, and the planet. Your climate work is already putting love at the center. You are what people need. You are what people need to heal this world. I need you. We need each other. And the good news is we already have what we need. So let's celebrate it. Let's get excited about it. Let us be transformed by our unlikely and globe-spanning companionships. Our companionships built on faith, generosity, interconnectedness. May we revel in those unlikely companionships, like the T-chaplain sibling Dex and the wild-built robot, splendid speckled mosscap. May we thrive in this world like they do, in a novella that imagines a flourishing world built through strengthened relationship. May our faith be reinvigorated by knowing that there is good work and joyful work and successful work already being done. May we offer respite, sometimes in the form of a cup of tea to the weary, yes. But may we also make celebratory space for the reimagining of our intersectional, our unstoppable, and our unfathomable strength to make good change in this world. May it be so.
Okay, now we have a ritual for action. Rituals facilitate connection and a sense of community, and they help us promote the values that we share. This ritual for action is intended to help us embody what we've been talking, thinking, and singing about today. Using water as a symbol of renewal, your hands will be blessed for the work of climate justice. If you're ready to take action, please come forward. And this is where it says in parentheses, people should start lining up for Karen to sprinkle their hands.
Line up over there.
Over there. Okay.
Thank you for starting.
I'm ready. I actually don't have a blessing.
So you're gonna say, we bless this water
Okay.
for your hands.
All right, thank you. Okay. We bless this water for your hands. May they do the work that must be done. Care for those, let me do this, does that make sense?
That's good.
We
That
bless
looks
this
like
water, so which will be blessing your hands, so that your hands may do the work that must be done. Care for those who need the touch of kindness and create flourishing everywhere. Now Karen is going to. This is where we're making it up. I don't know if you picked that up.
Making things up. And I think if you're making up blessings every day, you can't really go wrong.
Friends, you will be commissioned to act for climate justice. with our shared blessed water. That was wonderful. Today's benediction is by the Reverend Peggy Clark. Knowing how quickly the flame of truth may be extinguished, how easily the chalice of fellowship may be broken, let us be vigilant in faith, keep peace in our hearts, and make care for one another the watchword of our lives together. And so our light goes out everywhere into the world. Our light goes out everywhere. Oops, I was wrong. We're not.
Spreading the lights.
I'm sorry. We're not ready, Karen. Our light goes out everywhere healing and hope are needed. Let us go in peace to love and serve this world and one another. Please rise again in body or in spirit to join in our closing hymn, 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
That's fine. We're making it up.
If you're with us today on Zoom and would like to wave goodbye at the end of the service, please turn your camera on now. And join us in our words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Do we have something to say about the activity?
So our next event is the social environmental justice. So if you're staying for the social environmental justice, please.
There's food
Oh, there's food in the fridge that needs to be brought out. Yep, if we need to, a little sustenance to do the work.
Or some incentive, however
Or
you view
incentive,
it.
yep. Yep, if you're staying for social environmental justice, though, we are going to be working on voting registration cards, and we have an activity for that. So